Morning. It's 10 o'clock. I forgot to put out a reminder this morning. I've just realised. So hopefully some of you will remember that I'm here this morning and join me. I completely forgot to pop up a quick reminder to say that I was coming on. But hopefully you saw my post yesterday that I was going to be live today. So we'll give it a few minutes while people hopefully join us. I'm going to bring me up on my iPad. I did that last time. I did that last week. Right. Am I there? There I am. Turn my volume down. So, right. Welcome to the Stamping with Val Facebook page this morning. Friday, no, 24th of March. Can't believe it's the 24th of March already. I'm not quite sure. Well, we say this every year. Where's the year going? I don't know. Same place it goes every year, I suppose. So, oh, Laura's joined me. Hi, Laura. I'm just chatting at the moment. So, while I wait for a few people to hop on, but obviously you've remembered that I'm live this morning, so that's cool. So, yeah, so it's been a busy week. I'm not sure if it's been a busy week. It's been one of those weeks where you feel like you've been really, really busy, and then you go, yeah, but what have I actually done? Don't know. Do you have weeks like that? I get a lot of weeks like that. Days like that, weeks like that. What did I actually do? I didn't stop, but what do I actually have to show for it? So, yeah, busy week, but exciting things. My head's been very busy, I think. I think that's been the problem. Lots of ideas in my head about things I want to do going forwards, and I think that's what's been so busy rather than physically busy, although I'm sure I've done lots that way as well. I'm sure I have. So, but we're here for Facebook Create and Chat. Is that what I've called it? Create and Chat or Craft and Chat? I can't remember. I keep changing it, I think, because I can't remember from one week's end to the next what I've called it. So we're here for my kind of Friday morning, bit of a chat. Are you on wind down for the weekend? Hopefully you are. I'm not sure I am, but hopefully you are. Busy weekend, parties galore, keeping very busy. So, and that's meant birthday cards this week. Lots of birthday cards and presents and gifts and stuff ready for that as well. So yeah, it's been one of those kinds of weeks. But so yeah, create and chat today. I've got a fun card to share with you today. It's this one. Is the card we're going to be making today. It's using the Carousel Birthday stamp set from the Spring Summer or Occasions catalogue, depending on what you call it where you live. Okay, here in the UK it's the Spring Summer catalogue from Stampin' Up, and this is in there as like a bit of a suite. So you get the stamp set, there's some papers, there's a cute little embellishment kit, things like that. I've only actually used the stamp set on this card, but when I made this card I made a couple of others that I'll show you towards the end of the video, so which do use some of the paper and stuff as well. So but I wanted to share this card on here because actually I ended up using a tool that I've owned for a long time and don't use very often, and that's my Stamp-a-ma-Jig. Okay, I don't use it terribly often at all. I don't know about you, it tends to sit in the drawer, but when I did the background of the carousel horses on here, when you kind of mount the stamp on your block, what you think is straight isn't quite straight, and it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky. Oh, hi Emma, hello. Yeah, you think you've got it lined up straight, you think you've got it, there's the pole going down through the horse, poor horse impaled on that pole. You think you've got that straight, and then somehow when you stamp it, well, you can see all my attempts because I couldn't decide on the colour either of what I was going to do. So I've got a yellow one here, which I decided I didn't like. So the card's got loads of sides, in case you didn't know. This one in a kind of a crumb cakey colour, and I did the whole thing. But they're really squiffy. These ones are super squiffy in a sort of a, I think that's peach. So, oh, thank you, Emma. Oh, that's coming from you. Your cards have been amazing lately. So, but I was really struggling to get that horse lined up. Really to get it straight, especially when I'm doing it repeatedly. all the way across. So I decided, stop it. Stop wasting bits of card. Stop it. You've got a tool. You've got a tool, use it. Okay, you've got a Stamp-a-ma-Jig, use it. So I'm going to use that. And I ended up using it for the little tent as well, because this one was another one that catches you out, because where you think is the centre of the stamp, like with the flag, somehow it's not quite in the middle, and everything ended up to the left, I think. And it was just, oh, it's driving me batty for what's actually not a very complicated card. So, but what else are we using on here? We're using those lots of label dies. You might see that I've been on a little bit of a kick with those at the moment. They've been on my desk almost permanently for at least a month. Loads of cards have had those put on recently. But again, I've cut the top off, so it's become a different shape again. And then I've put my sentiment on this banner, and I've created these really nice little banner ends. And I actually ended up doing that, it's here somewhere, using this. Now, those of you who know what this is, but there might be some of you going, what's that? Where'd you find that? That was a bit squeaky and whiny, wasn't it? Sorry. Okay. This is actually hidden in your window box thinlits. This is hidden in there. Okay. And what it does is it cuts a little banner end, and then it scores two little lines in it that let you do that foldy bit. Okay, so you die cut that at the end of your strip of card, and it does this for you. Okay, and that's hidden in there, and you don't know that it's there, but it's there. That's where it is. Okay, right, so 5 minutes past. I think those who are going to join me will be here by now. Perhaps if they're running late, they'll make a cup of tea and pop in later. So let me spin you around, and let's go ahead and make this card this morning, and you can see all the bits and bobs I've used. Okay, so let me oh, lefty loosey. Oh, there we go, round you go. Quick glance of last week's card. Morning, Laura. Morning, nice to have you with us. But it doesn't matter how tight I tighten all these things up, everything still moves really easily. I think there's another tightening thing there, maybe oh, there, I've missed that one. Okay, all right, fair enough, that'll do it then. Okay, so I've got all the various bits and bobs that I've used out on my desk, and a whole load of other stuff as well, of course, always. So let me move you where I'm happy with. So here's my card then, you can see it properly the right way around now. Okay, so here we are with the Carousel horses. Okay, and I've made this card again for the Global Design Project. I'm loving using their challenges for my Friday create and chat, because it gives me something at the beginning of the week. Their challenge comes out on a Monday, so I've got the week to make a card to fit the challenge and prep and get everything, so it fits in timing wise absolutely brilliantly actually. So, and their theme was, let me see if I can remember, something like fairground or something, theme park, amusement park, something like that. So obviously this was I didn't use much imagination, this was the obvious choice, wasn't it, for an amusement park. So so I went with that. So yes, I've got the Carousel horses forming a background. They're not stamped all the way to the bottom. I didn't cover the whole card with them. I stopped about, I don't know, what's that, about 4/5, maybe something like that. I've got this panel of that label and then centered off to one side, and then like I say, I've got this little banner and little, I forget my subtle enamel dots. I forget I've got those enamel dots. Have you got drawers full of stuff you forget? I always forget those. They're here. I've had them ever since they came out, and they're nearly all there. I've used a pool party one, the only pool party one. So I'm terrible with embellishments. I'm not. I like to layer with my card and my stamps, and I don't add ribbon. Twine is pretty much all I go for. I forget that I've got all these fun embellishments. So our colour scheme for today, okay, the stamps, the inks I've got are Pool Party, Calypso Coral, and then actually the ink is Daffodil Delight. The card is So Saffron, but because I wanted that sentiment to stand out, and I found that the So Saffron wasn't standing out enough from the So Saffron card. So I raised it up to Daffodil Delight onto the So Saffron card just to give that a bit more of a pop. I did use Calypso Coral, but you could use Watermelon Wonder to give the circus tents a bit of an extra pop as well if you wanted. So let's go ahead and start to get things ready. The first thing we're going to need is a card base from Whisper White. So here's a whole sheet of the thick A4. This is a long, thin card with top fold. So I'm going to put it in along the long side. Halfway for me is 14.85. I'm going to score the whole piece of card. I'm going to use my guillotine because I still haven't replaced that blade. Okay, I'm not sure, I don't even know if I've got more blades to put in it, and if I have, I don't know where they are. And then I only remember when Friday comes around. So now I'm going to put it in on the short side, 10.5, down through there. So now I've got 2 card bases, so if my horses still end up incredibly wonky, I can still have another go. Okay, there we are. So let's start by stamping the background with that Stamp-a-ma-Jig, I think. So to do that, I'm going to mount the carousel horse onto a D block. And like I say, what I like to do is I like to use the grid lines. Like I say, if you look at that, I'm kind of wanting to do that. That to me looks like the stamp is straight. I think that is actually the line, that dark thick line going through the centre of the pole. And I'm going to try and get it on my block straight. I'm still going to use my Stamp-a-ma-Jig anyway, but I'm hoping, you see, it's still wonky. Let's try it from this side. That one there, that one there. So how's that then? Yeah, you see, somehow it's a bit unnatural. I don't know. That's the only way I can describe it. It seems a little bit unnatural, doesn't it? So, hence the Stamp-a-ma-Jig today. If you've never used your Stamp-a-ma-Jig, okay, it's a fabulous tool. It's a stamp positioning tool. And the idea is that it can help you line up stamps. It's brilliant if you've got something you want to get dead straight like this, or a sentiment and you're fussy about getting them really, really straight, a bit like I am. It's also brilliant for those 2-step stamps in your collection where you stamp one stamp and then you pop another one smack bang over the top. Especially some of those tricky ones that are hard to line up. Picture Perfect I've never had success with. That would be one to use with this, just to get them spot on lined up over the top of each other. In your Stamp-a-ma-Jig you get this black bracket effectively. It's basically, the idea is this right angle. Okay, there's one on the other side, so it doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. Okay, and the idea is that it fits into the corner of the imaging sheet that goes with it. Okay, now I personally put it like this in the bottom left-hand corner, but you can put it there, you can put it there, you can put it there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you put it, okay, as whatever you're comfortable with. But for me personally, I always do it in the bottom left hand corner. Okay, the imaging sheet itself, this blue sticker is brilliant, don't take it off, right, because it helps you find it. The problem with this is it's see-through. You lose it on your desk, you put it down on the desk, you pile some other stuff on top, it's gone. You can spend weeks looking for this if you're not careful. I'm not very good at putting things away, I fully admit that. This I put away. I have a home for it. I've got a little plastic IKEA pot on the desk that I keep my scissors and glue and tools and things in, and I put it in there with the sticker at the top right. I put it like that so that I can always find it. Okay, it's about the only thing I do put away. It's quite funny. Okay, when it comes, if you feel the imaging sheet, you'll feel that one side is a little bit on the rough side and the other side is the smooth side. It's totally smooth. This is the side you're going to stamp on. So if you're using wood mount stamps, they're permanently glued to the block, okay, which means it's not going to move, which means if once you've gone ahead and you've positioned it all on the sheet in a minute like we're going to do, okay, it's always in the same place. When you do this with clear mount, if I was to peel this off and stick it back on again, it would probably be in a slightly different place on the block than it was before. The same for photopolymer stamps, in which case I would have to set up the imaging sheet again each time you take it off and put it back on, okay? This imaging sheet, I just reuse the same one. I just wipe it clean, give it a rinse or a baby wipe or something like that. Personally, I tend to use my thumb, but that's just because I'm lazy. And you reuse it. If you've got a stamp set that you use a lot and you use it a lot, I know people who get a piece of window sheet and they stamp these in permanent ink, like stays on, onto the window sheet, and keep it with the stamp set, and then you can use it over and over again. But like I say, that only really works if you're using wood mount stamps, where the stamps are mounted onto the block and therefore they're in the same place every single time, okay? Because with the clear or the photopolymer, you peel it off, you put it away, you come back to it a few months later, you stick it back on the block, and it's going to be in a different place, okay? So to set up the Stamp-a-ma-Jig, you put the imaging sheet into the corner. Like I said, it doesn't matter which corner you have this in, that's personal choice, but jam it right down into that corner. Ink up your stamp, okay, and with this right in this corner, you're now going to get the corner of the block into that corner, and keeping it in the corner, you go down, you go back up. Now I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because I'm using a fairly light ink. I'm going to try and see what you can see on my iPad. But basically I now have a pool party carousel horse stamped onto here. If I put the white behind it, can you see it better perhaps now? You could just about make it out before. Is it better like that? So this is now on my imaging sheet. No, actually the white made no difference at all, did it? That's rubbish. Okay. But that's now on there. Okay. Now I use this over the top of my card and I position it where I want the horse to go. Okay. I'm going to use my gridded paper because I like to do that to line up my card. Okay. And I'm going to start off with one in the middle. And I'm going to obviously attempt to get it straight on the card. If they don't come out straight, never mind. Okay. Once you've you've worked with the imaging sheet to get where you want the image you want to stamp, where it's going to go on the card, you put this back into the corner to line it back up, and you remove this out of the way, because if you leave that there, you're just going to stamp on top of it again. Okay, the idea is this and this will now line up to where that was on the imaging sheet. So now with it in the corner, if everything moves, you have to set it up again. Okay, down and up. And then when you're happy with that one, you can come back in with your imaging sheet and you can decide where you're going to put the next one. So I think I will have one coming off the edge of the card there. So again, bring this back in, that out of the way, re-ink your stamp into the corner, down and up, and then you just repeat. Basically you just keep repeating it. Okay, and I kind of moved these around wherever I wanted them, really. I didn't have any particular pattern to them. Okay, and you just keep doing that until you've covered your whole piece of card. And like I said, I'm keeping my card base straight because then that just helps me gauge where I'm going to put this. Okay, you can also see quite nicely how, especially with a clear rather than photopolymer stamp like this, all my things are getting in the way. You can see exactly where the image of the horse is going to end up, because of course the stamps have got a bit of excess all the way around. And it's not always clear where all the various bits are going to end up. So that one in there maybe. You can see where I've done it like that. I still probably haven't got it terribly straight on the block, either that or it's not terribly straight on my card, one or the other. Okay, this one, this bit isn't actually on the card, so it isn't holding the card in place. And that means there is a risk that the card will move on me. So you just want to bear that in mind. Like I say, if the card moves, this one's obviously nowhere near, look, because of the size of the stamp and where I want it coming off the edge of the card. So there is a bit of a risk that the card, sorry, will move. And you need to bear that in mind and set it all up again before you stamp. I'll have another one down here. Okay, it's a bit, like I say, it's a bit random. I'm going to be very lazy now. And this top, I've got a bit of a hole there, but I'm only going to have that bit. I'm going to just wing that and hope for the best. I could probably do with something in that corner as well. Let's just put a little horse's hoof there. Okay, so I'm happy with that background now. Like I say, you could carry on and cover the whole of the front of the piece of card. That's up to you. But I've kind of stopped at that point, and obviously my panel's going to be on here anyway. So once you're finished with this, if this is also useful if you were going to do lots and lots of cards, because it's always on here. So you just keep going. As long as this doesn't move or this doesn't move, then you can keep going with it. But once you're finished with it, give it a wipe. If you've got a convenient bit of tissue in your pocket, great. If you haven't, a sleeve is always good. Okay. There we go. And it's clean again. Look at that. Right then. So what do I want to do now? I think I'm going to do some die cutting now, actually. So let's pop that up out of the way for a moment, move the horsey, and let's get, no, we won't. We'll do the sentiment. Turn the light, we're going to do the sentiment, and then we can die cut that while we've got the machine out, so that we get all the die cutting done at once. So I've got the I love when your birthday comes around, okay, and I'm going to pop that onto an H block. I think it would fit on the D as well. Okay, I've got So Saffron card, but I've got Daffodil Delight ink because I just want to raise the intensity of the colour up a little bit. Okay, and I'm basically going to stamp it along a bottom edge along here. This is a full width of A4, and I'm going to do it in the middle because I want room to cut those banners at the end, and I'm not sure exactly how long I need to allow. So if I do this roughly in the middle, like that, there we go, marvellous. And then what we can do is we can use our guillotine again and trim this off to the width we want. If you haven't got it close enough to the bottom, feel free to trim a little bit off of there if you like as well, but I think mine's close enough. I'm happy with it. Okay, I like an equidistance to the top as well, but that's personal choice. And there we go, I've now got that roughly in the middle of a strip like that. Now I can use that special banner end die that I showed you to do that. So let me grab the Big Shot. Here we are. So let's have a look at that banner end then. Can you see? Move that up a bit. That's better. Move these pads out of the way. So here's that die. So you've got the little banner ends, and then you get two straight lines here. They do the scores for you. Okay, and these are just sort of positioning markers, that's all, at this end. So here's my strip of card. So you want to work out where you want to position this end, these markers, in relation to the sentiment itself. Okay, so basically how much gap you want left after the sentiment before all the folds are going to occur. And then when you're happy with that, okay, that's positioned on there, you just run it through the big shot as normal. Oh, hi Baz, hi Carrie, hello, hello. I think Myra dropped on as well, I'm not sure. I thought I saw her name come up. So here you are now. Let me see if I can get this in focus for you. So you've got the banner end, and then you have those 2 score lines, and those will do the double fold to give you the proper banner end. Okay, so then you would do the same again then at this end. Here we are. So now you can sort of gauge so that your sentiment's going to end up nicely in the middle, if you want it to be, obviously. Oh, there's lots hopping on now. Hi, Kayla. Through we go again. Now, actually, can you see that one's not quite straight? It's moved a little bit on me. It'll be fine. We won't worry about it. Yeah. Okay. So now what happens when you've got these is the first score you bend away from you, the second score you bend back up towards you, and you get that proper little banner doo-dah doo-doo. Okay, so remember that's in your window box thinlets, that little banner endy thing. It's quite clever, isn't it? And away from you. There we are. Ooh. So that's how you get that really nice and neat. Okay, you can obviously do it by hand, of course you can, but you won't get it as neat. I've never got it as neat, let's put it that way. You might. I've never got it as neat. I've never got it as even if I've done it by hand. So right then, so we've got that, so we'll put that with the base card out of the way there. And while we've got the big shot out, we're going to die cut one of those labels to stamp the circus tent onto. So for that, as I told you, I'm on a bit of a kick with my lots of labels framelits. And for this card, I've used the largest one. Okay, if you're worried about wasting card, tuck it up into a corner. I'd have probably just slammed that right in the middle. I'm so lazy. So there we go. I've die cut that. Okay, there's nothing difficult or fancy about that, just cut it. Right then. Let's have a look about pulling these elements of this card together now then. So we have this. I've no idea how much I cut off of this, to be perfectly honest with you. How much did I take off? That much. That still doesn't help me, does it? I've left the side about 7 centimetres by the looks of it. So let's bring this in. So I said, what did I say? About 7. So from that point on about the 7 centimetres, that's about 2 3/4 inches for my American friends. And Canadian ones, of course. And anyone else who prefers imperial measurements, that's fine. Okay. Keep it. I'm sure you'll think of something to do then. I'm sure you will. Right then. So here's this. So this is going to go on here. So above this, we want to stamp our tent. So I've got another D block. D blocks are great. You need loads of them. I've slowly been increasing my block collection, I have to admit, because one of each just wasn't enough. Now again, like I say, I'd lined this up going, oh look, you know, the centre point of here must be the centre of the stamp. But actually when you do it, it actually isn't terribly, to be perfectly honest with you. So this is where the Stamp-a-ma-Jig will come in handy again. Okay, this time I've stamped it, I think I've stamped it in Calypso Coral. I think it's a fairly new or re-inked pad though, so it's come out quite a bit on the dark side. Over to the dark side. Right then, so here I am with my Stamp-a-ma-Jig again. I've got my stamp on my block and I'm going to ink it up. Oh yeah, this is well juicy, this one. Look at that, I've got loads of edges and stuff. I'll have to watch out for those. So pushing this right down into this corner, I'll stamp that on there. You'll definitely be able to see that. Okay, and then it doesn't matter if you've got it mounted on your block incredibly wonky like I have as well. So right then, so I'm thinking about where this is going to go. Okay, so this is going to go lined up. The bottom edge is lined up with those sort of little bits there basically. So that's going to go there. So I want my tent about here. Obviously this is in the way, so now I'm happy roughly where it's going to go. I'll move that out of the way. So now it's just a question of making sure that I've got it in the middle and level, because otherwise it'll bug me. It actually wasn't on the block too wonky, to be fair. Now I've seen it on card. Put that back into the corner, except everything moved slightly, so I'm going to do it again. Is that straight? Is it straight? Yeah. Can you suggest a card that would use the offcut? That's your mission for the weekend, should you accept it. The information impossible playing in my head. Oh, very good, Baz, very good. Now it's going to be in my head. Right then, I will now. You wait, I'll think of something. Right, there's no time to craft this weekend. Right, I'm going to have to watch out. This is super juicy. So, did I vanish? That was odd. Did I come back? Right, straight down, straight up. There we go. Not bad, not bad. This one, it depends how precious you're feeling about your sleeve, because obviously this is lots of ink. I'm going to put this cardigan in the wash later, so it'll be fine. So now I've got it on the desk. Right, and then like I said, I'm going to put this away right now, back in there, with the label facing towards me, and then I can find it next time. Right then. So let's go ahead and see about bringing all these bits together now then. Here's my base card. Here's my banner. Onto the back of that, I'm going to pop a couple of dimensionals. Okay, I'm going to put them there, just inside where those bits fold in. Okay, it does mean that it pop. They could do with a little bit more height, to be honest. Those thicker strip ones, you know, for shaker cards, that might be quite good. They might be good. They might give you the extra bit of height. Maybe. My fingers are in the way, so I can't even tell if that's in the middle. Yeah, not bad. Okay, let's use one more enamel dot. Go on, let's splash out. Okay, and let's pop that at the top. Ugh, not like that. That's well wonky. Get it off. Have another go. More fat fingers today. There we go. Right then. I think somebody's written, I love my blocks. I love my blocks. The Stampin' Up blocks are the best. They've got that lovely groove that runs all the way round. That makes it just doesn't matter which way round you've got them. They just fit comfortably in your hand. They're smashing. So, a few more. What's happening? Am I dropping in and out? I'm really blurry now too. Oh, Mary's finally managed to catch me live. I'm almost done, Mary. I'm afraid, but never mind. You'll get some of it. So, more foam dots on the back of there. I'm sorry, looking at my iPad, I am super blurry. So my apologies for that. I'm not sure what's happening there. Okay, and then I've personally put this right on this side. But to be honest, you know what? Let's be different. Okay, let's put this one more in the middle. Why not? Up there? Everybody happy with that? There we go. So, there we have it. So there's me getting jiggy with my Stamp-a-ma-Jig today for today's card to create the carousel horse background. But also this one I found, it was tricky to get in the middle. I'm sure it's still, my eyes are funny. So it's blurry in Australia as well. I'm really sorry, Mary. I don't know what on earth has happened. I think I've dropped in and out maybe or something, because it was fine earlier. That's a real shame. So, So there we go. So there's that card. That's really annoying me that the quality is completely off. Okay, here's 2 more cards that I've made using the same stamp set, the same materials, the same dies and things as well, really. So this one, I've actually die cut 2 of these, one in white and one in the Calypso Coral again, and then just trimmed this one off and overlapped them. So the Calypso Coral one's still underneath there, and then added a little strip of saffron across the join. I think I used my Stamp-a-ma-Jig to get this on here as well, to get it really nicely centered in the middle with that cupcake hitting that point really nicely. Oh, it's blurry for everybody. I'm really, really sorry. I will make sure that there are stills. There will be stills of this card going up on the blog tomorrow, and I'll make sure that stills of these turn up at some point, because I'm not really sure what I can do about it. But that is really frustrating. And then for this card, I've got that label again. This time I've stamped Carousel Horse onto a circle. More enamel dots. Look, I've used at least 3. And then there's that banner again, just cutting off the bottom of the horse there, like that. I've tried raising them up. The focus is just completely out, isn't it? I'm really sorry, guys. Really sorry about that. I don't know what's happened with that, because we started off okay. So my apologies. But like I say, these stills will go up of these on the blog soon. And you'll be able to see them a lot clearer, hopefully, then. So, right then, let me flip you back round. So, get a bit of lefty-loosey again. Ooh. There we go. Oh, too low. Yeah, well, it's okay now, yeah. Let me... When did it go blurry? Do we know? Was it while I was still stamping or just afterwards? Yeah, look, I'm in perfect focus. Yeah. You'd be better off seeing me blurry. Right, let me hold these up and you can see them better then, with them not all blurry all over the place. Okay. I know that means the writing is backwards, but we can't have everything. So yeah, there's that one. And again, I've used all the same elements again, basically, and just looking at different layouts. Okay. That one, and like I say, I used the Stamp-a-ma-Jig to get the big carousel wheel nicely centered onto that label, and to get the sentiment straight underneath it as well. So it can be useful, especially if you have to get it straight. So, and then finally, here's the one we made today. Here's the version we made today. Here's the original. I actually think I prefer it in the middle as well. Let me know. Leave me a comment. What do you think? Offset or in the middle? Offset or in the middle? This one or this? It's like being at the opticians with the blurry and everything. This one or this one? Right then. So there's my projects for today. I'm really sorry about the blurriness. I'll look back through. I'm wondering whether Mary thinks in the middle. Baz likes both. Normally I put them on YouTube, but I don't want it to go on YouTube if it's all blurry. Laura's voting for in the middle as well. In the middle's winning so far. I don't want to put it on YouTube if it's all blurry. I'll have to see what it looks like when I bring it out into editing and see how it looks. So that's our card for today. I will be back with Facebook Creating Live next week. Few things to remind you of. Don't forget, this week is the final week of celebration. Okay, last week it ends on Friday, doesn't it? Does that sound right? Somebody nod. I think so. I think it finishes on Friday. Friday was, yeah, next Friday. Okay, so but there are those extra 8 options from the spring, summer or annual catalogue, some embossing folders, some DSP that you can choose as freebies, because some of the other products have already run out. I think the glitter paper's run out now. So don't forget that. Don't wait any longer, basically. What else? Oh, and obviously you've got one more week to join the Crafty Carrot as well, if you would like. That is with Cake Crazy. You don't have to buy Cake Crazy. You can buy anything you like up to the value of Cake Crazy or more. But April is our Cake Crazy class. Cake Crazy class. Say that fast. Okay. So one more week to qualify for that as well. So if you want in on that, that's me in the UK, Cindy in America, Krista in Canada, Susan in New Zealand, or Jennifer in Australia to join up with for that. Purchase through them. Also, our team members do get the tutorials when the month is finished. So if you're looking for a team to join in one of those countries and you want to get in on that, and that's an extra little perk for our team members as well. So yay. What else have I got coming up? Sorry about the angry face. I was trying to work out what I'd said, that maybe I was like, maybe you're cross that celebration's nearly over. Maybe it's that. That's okay. The other thing is, and it's right up there, and I've deliberately positioned it up there so you can't see, is I have a brand new newsletter subscriber tutorial thing coming. Okay, I'm really pleased with how it came out. It's big, it's boxy, it's fabulous, and I can't wait to share it with you. I'm hoping I'll have it out by sort of this time next week. If you're already a newsletter subscriber, you will get it, so you don't have to worry about signing up again. You will get it along with a PDF of the card that we made today and various other bits and bobs when my newsletter comes out tonight. Okay, those PDFs are exclusive to my newsletter subscribers as well. A sneak peek, maybe. Let's twiddle. We're going to twiddle. Lefty loosey, isn't it? Okay, let's see. You won't see much. Ready? It's up on the top shelf up there. There's a couple of versions. They've got handles on, if that's any sort of clue. You can't see hardly anything at all. It's not much of a sneak peek, is it? It's a surprise. Anyway, that's going to be my new newsletter subscriber incentive, but obviously it will go out to all my current subscribers as well. But hopefully that'll have a video and a PDF, and it looks really good. So I'm really excited. So love your 5 PM release. Oh, thanks, Baz. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So Baz is already looking forward to her newsletter later today. So that's great. More to come on the blog all this week. Have you been checking out my 1 Sketch 5 card series that I've been doing on the blog all this week? That was from last week's class where we used the Global Design Project sketch to create a card. And then I showed you 5 more using the same sketch. They've been coming up on the blog all this week. Watch out, because over the weekend I'm going to be using them for some colour inspiration so that you can pin those into your colour inspiration boards. What else am I going to have? Oh, all sorts of things coming up this week. A card that I shared exclusively with my VIP stampers on a live video with them a couple of about 2 weeks ago in the evening. The light in here is rubbish in the evenings, by the way. It makes me look like I've got a moustache and a beard because it's all dark on that part of my face. I didn't like that. The sooner we could turn the camera and get onto here, I looked awful. I shall have to invest in some decent light if I want to do videos in here at night, which is why I do them in the daytime with you guys. So yeah, so I've got some still pictures of that. The video is still exclusive to them as my VIP customers, but it also, the blog post will tell you all about how you can be a VIP customer and what else you get for being one of my VIP customers, which is basically loads of great stuff. So, so that's coming up this week. There'll be another Global Design Project challenge on Monday, so I'll be taking part in that. So yeah, lots to keep us busy and lots to keep us going. So I hope you will join me on the blog this week, on the Facebook page. You can find me on Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, all those places. I'm everywhere. Stamping with Val, Google me and you'll find me all over the place. So join in. Don't forget, if you're not already a newsletter subscriber, you want to hop on and get that because you want to make sure you get that tutorial. Promise. All right then, guys, it's 11:15, so I shall leave you now. Thanks for stopping by the Stamping with Val Facebook page, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.